So there was this last pastry that was left, and two brothers were fighting over this. Both of them wanted to have it, but the fight was only resolved when they decided to share it equally. Well, fair enough. So let's see how they divided it. So they cut the pastry along this line, and they got these two parts. Now both of them were happy because these parts looked equal, and hence they had divided the pastry into two equal parts. Now let us assume that the last pastry looked something like this. Now again, they would fight unless they get equal share. So how can we divide this pastry into two equal parts? If they try to cut it like they had previously done, that is, draw a straight line from this vertex, then they get these two parts. Clearly, these two are not equal, so the fight would remain. So how do we resolve the fight? Next, what they tried is, they tried cutting it by this line. So this line is actually, they found the midpoint of this complete line. This was the midpoint. And they draw a straight line, or they cut the pastry across along this line, which is a straight line from the midpoint. So what do they get? Again, two parts, the fight still continues. It doesn't seem that these two parts are equal. So now, since they were not able to find a point or a line which could give them actually two equal parts, both of them, they decide to go to their elder brother. So the elder brother, smartly what he does is, he cuts the pastry along this line. Now this line, this is the midpoint of this line. So he basically cuts the pastry along a line that joins the midpoint with the opposite vertex. So he cuts it along this line, and let's see what he gets. So these are the two parts, and he says that these two parts are equal. But well, the two younger brothers were still not convinced. So to convince them, he used maths. What he did is, he made this pastry on a piece of paper and named the points as A, B, D. He named the pastry as A, B, D. He had cut the pastry along this line AC. C is the midpoint of BD. So he had cut this pastry along this line, which joins the midpoint to the opposite vertex. And AE is the perpendicular from this point. So AE is a perpendicular. Or you can say AE is the height. Now, to convince them that both of the parts were equal, he finds the area of these two parts. So these are the two parts, A, B, C, the first part, and A, C, D, the second part. In both these parts, we see that AE is drawn, that is the height. So if I take CD as the base, then height is the perpendicular from the opposite vertex. Opposite vertex is A. Perpendicular from A is E. So AE becomes the perpendicular from the opposite vertex to the base, and so AE is the height. And here clearly you can see that AE is perpendicular to BC, so AE is the height if BC is the base. So let's calculate area for both of them and see whether it's equal or not. So area would be half into base into height. So area of this triangle would be half into base, which is BC, into height, which is AE. And what about area here? Again, half into base into height, half into base. If I take CD as the base, then again height would be AE. So what you see is half into BC into AE, half into CD into AE. What is different is BC and CD. And we know that C is the midpoint. If C is the midpoint, then BC should be equal to CD. So we see that area here would become, since BC is equal to CD, this is same as the area of the other triangle. So area of both the triangles turns out to be the same. Area is the same width is the same, so the volume would also be the same. So now that's how he uses his maths to convince the younger brothers that both of them, both the parts of the pastry are actually equal in area. So we see that if I draw a line such that that line joins the midpoint to the opposite vertex, then I'm actually getting two paths, or you can say two triangles of equal area. So let us say we have these three triangles and we want to divide these triangles such that I get two parts of equal area. So what do? The first thing would be to find the midpoint of any side. So you find midpoint of any side. Let's say I find midpoint of this side, AC, as M. I find midpoint of side EF as N. And I find midpoint of this side also, GK, which is R. So I have these three midpoints. Now to divide them equally into two equal parts, what I need to do is I need to join this midpoint to the opposite vertex. Side AC, opposite vertex is B. So I would join this. I need to join the midpoint to the opposite vertex. Again, midpoint to the opposite vertex. Midpoint to the opposite vertex. And the line that joins the midpoint to the opposite vertex is nothing but median. So this line that joins the midpoint of one side to the opposite vertex is actually the median. And we see that a median actually divides the triangle into two triangles of equal area. So now there was this child called Ankit who wanted to make a wind chime. So what he does is he opens his art and craft book and finds a wind chime picture there, and he decides to make this wind chime. What he observes is that each star is exactly at the bottom when hanged by a thread. So he takes a triangle, hangs it by the thread, but the star does not come at the bottom. So he tries to put the thread at the other end now. Again, the star does not come at the bottom. So he keeps doing this and keeps finding points such that the star comes at the bottom. So at last he finds a point wherein the star comes exactly at the bottom when hanged by the thread. So now he gets an idea. He measures this side and sees that the thread was actually at the midpoint. Now he tries to apply this in other triangles. He finds the midpoint and puts the thread there, and well, the star comes exactly at the bottom. Well, this line that joins the midpoint to the opposite vertex is nothing but the median. So he finds the median for the rest of the triangles also, that is joining the midpoint to the opposite vertex. So this line, and he happily gets his wind chime. So we've seen how Ankit made his wind chime using medians. So a median basically divides a triangle into two equal areas, and this line that joins the median, that joins the midpoint to the opposite vertex, is the median. So in each triangle, what we see is that the star, that is the opposite vertex, the midpoint, and the thread are in single line. So if you hang a triangle by the midpoint, then the opposite vertex would automatically come at the bottom. So this is how he made his wind chime. Now he got so excited by making one wind chime that he decided to make another. So he decided to make another wind chime for his brother's room now. So let's see. So it made this wind chime. He found another in this book and decided to make this now. So he has this triangle. He puts the 3 bells, each at a vertex. And now what he has to do is, he has to balance this triangle horizontally. So he tries to put a thread at one of the sides. But no, it doesn't get balanced. He tries putting it at the other end also. But again, that doesn't help him. So he decides to put the thread in the middle of the triangle somewhere. Will that help? No, it doesn't. So he keeps finding different points, but none of the points seem to help him. So he decides to use maths. He finds the midpoint of each side, joins it with the opposite vertex. And what is this? Nothing but the median. Similarly, he finds the median for the rest of the sides also. Midpoint to the opposite vertex. Joins them, finds another median, and similarly makes the median for the third side also. These medians intersected at a point, and now he decides to put the thread at this point and C. So what do you see? That the triangle gets balanced when he puts the thread along this point, which was the point where all the medians intersected. So what is this point actually called? Why is it that the triangle got balanced at that point? Let us see. So this point, which is actually the point of intersection of the 3 medians. So these are the 3 medians. Let us say the triangle is ABC, and let's call the midpoints as D, E, F. So if midpoints are D, E, F, then we see that all these medians are actually intersecting at one point, and this point is nothing but the centroid. It's called the centroid. And why is it that the triangle gets balanced here? We have seen that a median divides the triangle into 2 parts, equal area. Similarly, these 3 medians are actually dividing the triangle into 6 parts, and all these 6 parts are of equal area. So what we see is that at the centroid, we can balance a triangle horizontally. Now there's a small activity which you all can do. All you need to do is take a piece of paper and cut out a triangle by that. Find the centroid, that is, find all the medians and find the point where these medians intersect. Now these 3 medians intersect here. Try balancing this triangle by your pencil at the point where the medians intersect. That is, at the centroid, try balancing it and see whether the triangle balances or not.